So as we transition back onto the row unit itself, we talked about leveling the bar, but if we have worn parts on our row unit, we're going to have some issues even though the bar appears to be level. So one of those, as we go through this, is our parallel arms themselves, and we're talking about the bolts and the bushings. So the easiest way to check that is while your planter's setting in the shop is walk up behind it and go ahead and give it a grab and see how much play and slop is in your bolts and bushings. So this one has quite a bit. So then it's time to take your bolts and bushings out and take a look at those parallel arms, the wear on that bushing and the wear on the shoulder bolt or on the bolt itself. So what's going to happen if we just let that slop in there? Well, much like we had when you were running the planter with the hitch too low, what's going to happen is you're going to still change that row unit, and the seed tube it's just going to nose downhill, and you're going to change the pitch and the angle of that seed delivery, and you're still going to float seed about a ½ inch up in the bottom of the seed trench. The other thing that's going to affect, even though the bar's level, that wear causing that row unit to nose downhill is going to cause any of your attachments to run incorrectly. We talked about row cleaners running too deep. We talked about the no-till coulter running too deep. It's going to lighten the pressure up on our closing wheel system in the back. So that's when we need to go ahead, then change our bolts and bushings, and if there's too much wear, possibly change the arm itself. As you can see on the one right here, nice and tight, and we went ahead and changed these parallel arms themselves.
So since these were completely wore out, we went with a new style arm. These arms are actually made by a company called GBGI. The unique thing about these parallel arms is compared to the standard arm where it's just your standard steel and then your standard bushing, what they've done is that their holes are much larger, and then they've put a spring bushing in there as well to basically protect this outside steel, so that they're actually controlling the hardness of this inner bushing here, or this outer bushing, spring bushing, compared to the inner, so that we know whenever this bushing is riding in this arm, that we know that this inner bushing will be the one that wears because it is a lighter metal than what the outer bushing is. So like our deer side of things, Bill had talked about, we're going to get to a point where the arm's going to get egg shaped over time. The bushing is just going to wear into the arm. When we look at it replacing with an arm like this, we're not going to have that because we've got this secondary bushing in here to protect it. So you're only going to be replacing this bushing on the inner arm. So if you got any questions about replacing upper or lower parallel arms with a GBGI option or an aftermarket option, please give us a call at Precision Agri Services.